far over on the music was I? I was like on the back catalog there. Welcome back. 10:15, little bit of change. There's Lacy.
Hi.
100 weeks ago. Starts now. So that'd be what? Not even 2 years ago?
I've run out of stuff from 1925. I'm going to do 100 weeks ago from now on.
Man. You know, question. Did they do a lot of reporting on crime back then?
Yes.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Don't know why. No, I don't know why. I feel like a lot of our stories are kind of crime, you know, or kind of sad.
So what you were really asking is, are those stories we talk about a lot of crime because there was a lot of crime that they reported on, or if I just personally was interested in and writing about crime?
Yeah.
No, I try to do a mix because there was a lot about crime, and sometimes it was interesting and sometimes it wasn't.
Really?
Well, I mean, like all crime.
Like there weren't any like serial killers gone rogue in 1925, you know, like leaving messages around or anything like that?
Well, I mean, we had that guy that murdered people and then sent that letter to the governor through the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Remember that? Where he was like, I'll turn myself in if I don't have the death penalty.
When was this?
Last year, it was like he escaped from the St. Louis jail, but he'd killed people that lived in Alton.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I bet if we talked more about it, you'd remember because it was that like down by the river thing, and we were talking about how much St. Louis has changed.
Oh yeah,
and the dad of the girl was like a famous fiddle player, so like all the articles were about the crime, but also mentioned his fiddle playing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there were. I mean,
It's sad.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of the most interesting crime stories are also very sad. Like you don't have a lot where they're both interesting and nothing really bad happens.
Yeah.
Unless it's like,
you're right.
Like a lot of the Prohibition stuff is both interesting because of
it's like the
way
Robin
we're looking
Hood.
at it
Yeah.
now.
It's like the Robin Hood era.
Right. Because we have such a different like relationship with alcohol than they did in the early 1920s. That one is one where it's like more fun to talk about because it's both interesting and in a lot of cases, no one was directly hurt.
Yeah, I didn't know I had an interview with the Marquette students today.
Is it supposed to be right now?
Could have been. I don't know. I didn't get anything on my schedule.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know if you need me to shorten things up.
So what happened though 100 years ago?
Okay, yeah, 100 years ago, I wrote an article about 100 years ago when the Alton High Band basically, it was just like an overview of their summer because they did a whole bunch of stuff. Their director had just left on a like all summer honeymoon. He had just gotten married to his name was B.L. Johnson, and he had just gotten married to Florence Yoxel, who was the girls' physical education instructor at Alton High. So I don't know if they met through their job at Alton High. I assume so. But they got married. He went off out west. And so the band planned to take a break, but they had so many requests from different organizations and different events that they ended up doing like twice a week practice. The George A. Ryder, who was the choir director at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, stepped in to be their leader for the summer. So they had, someone to help coordinate things and help with practices. And they basically just went all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
And honestly, Alton really has had such a great history with their band.
Yes. And I mean, this was less than a year after the band even formed.
No kidding.
So like they just jumped right into things. But yeah, they were the only band to march in the parade through the streets of St. Louis when the Cardinals celebrated the Golden Jubilee of the National League in June. And I'd mentioned that before when we talked about the Knot-Holers gang.
Very friendly gang of guys.
Yeah, very friendly gang. So, and that was the Golden Jubilee of the National League. It wasn't the Golden Jubilee of the Cardinals because I was trying to figure out dates on that. But yeah, they were the only band.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And not even a St. Louis high school. It's Alton.
It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Good little history note for us.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. And that way we can get reset here and then we'll come back with more, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Coming back with more next.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. 10:22. Man, I wish I think I should just do a show like that from now on. Like my commercial break shows.
Oh, yeah. Just
start throwing everybody under the bus. We figured out. So I was freaking out. I think we can break because they knew something was wrong.
Yeah, because you kept looking and I kept looking.
They get a sense. I was a dummy. I completely forgot. Riverbend CEO. I'm on the board of directors, which is a great group. I was a part of that group when it first started.
Yeah, I remember that. And I don't remember it, but I remember you telling me.
Well, they were talking about doing a pickleball tournament, which is kind of new, a newer event for them, and also a newer time in the year to do it. It's really early, but they're just rocking and rolling. Like they're just like exceeding all these expectations. So it's really cool. And then Chris Logan booked the time, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a pickleball tournament for Godfrey. It's the Riverbend CEO pickleball tournament at Glazebrook Park in Godfrey. I felt good about that. I felt like Sherlock Holmes. Back with Lacy.
Because the students showed up.
Yeah, so that's why. I said it wasn't just one school. It was me being like just out in left field to get again. Oh, man. Not good ahead of my meeting. With that being said, Lacy, back to the band.
Yeah.
You know, was the ABOB program started at that time too? Like the band and orchestra builders?
Oh, I don't think so, because they had just started. So, I mean, not like officially the way that it is now, where they're doing, you know, the auction every year and stuff like that, because I know that there's an incredible amount of support now for the Alton High Band and Orchestra. And there was an incredible amount of support in 1925, but they were still just kind of figuring it out, like from a community standpoint at that time. So,
okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, it started in 1924 and they immediately started like, I don't want to say fundraising, but they ended up getting like new uniforms and stuff pretty quickly after that. And in the picture that I put in here, they've got official uniforms. They had like capes.
Was the community pretty supportive of them off the bat? That's awesome.
Super supportive.
No, this is a silly question. I don't want to say silly question because it's not. By the way, people are picking up on the Lyman Trumbull statue thing. I don't know if you saw. I threw it out there on a couple of. I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, you know what? Let's trumble it up.
Trumble it up.
There we go.
That could be the theme.
But getting back into this, were there a lot of extracurriculars besides like? Was theater a thing at Alton School District or Alton High School? Was there even a school district in 1925
Yes.
Like it wasn't just individual schools that all worked? Okay, so it wasn't district. Okay, that's
there's been a school district since the mid 1800s.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because that's with all like the segregation and stuff.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That all happened.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But yes, there were some sports. But
it was football without a helmet.
Football. I think they had those leather helmets at least. There was basketball, because we talked about the girls basketball team, but they didn't, like the girls basketball team only played other teams at the school. They didn't play outside the school, whereas the boys did. So there were some sports. There may have been drama.
That's kind of what I'm curious about, because there weren't really, it's like now we're getting to the point where we're going to see an explosion of extracurriculars within the next 10 to 15 years before the war starts and all of that.
Right. I'll have to check on that. I mean, we've got the yearbook, so at the very least I can flip through. I mean, they had like...
Now you know how I feel doing news.
Just
when there's two tricky words back to back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. If it's a serious news story, I'm like, please don't do this today. Please don't do this today. And then Ron Burgundy happens, and it happens, and I get really sad. Why did I turn this into an NPR voice?
I have such a hard time with words that I have read a million times and know what they mean, but I've never said them out loud.
Did you see me having a problem with? I had to take pronounce atrial fibrillation. See, I know the word.
Yep.
We all know the word.
Yeah.
Fibrillation, right?
Atrial. Is it fibrillation?
Oh man, maybe. Hold on. These are the wrong notes. Damn. I was gonna have you read them.
Oh,
because
okay.
Yeah. I don't do. People always ask what the prep work of the show is. It really isn't much. It is. I know people that are coming on and do some research.
Yeah.
But this is why you have to have a good media partners, because they make you sound really smart.
Yes.
Yes. They were like, man, you always ask great questions, CJ. You're darn right I do. You're darn right.
Darn right.
And you're darn right that in July the band played for Fosterburg Hard Roads Picnic
Darn
fundraiser too. So this is interesting though. It's for Fosterburg Hard Roads Picnic fundraiser, but it's at Rock Spring Park.
Yes. Everything was at Rock Spring Park.
Was that just like kind of the common mingling area?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to say most events, but lots and lots and lots of community events were at Rock Spring Park. So many.
What about
fundraisers.
Camp Warren Levis? I didn't realize that was kind of a bigger draw.
Yeah, it was the Boy Scout camp. Mm-hmm.
Was it a big draw?
Yeah, I think they were there to dedicate a cabin. Like they were doing a celebration of dedicating, because the camp was from the year, like they had officially formed Camp Warren Levis in 1924. Yeah. So this was some sort of dedication that wasn't for the camp as a whole, but I want to say it was a cabin, maybe a lake or something. But yeah, so they were there to celebrate that too.
Really cool. Mm-hmm. Man, so they played everywhere. The West Alton picnic, the Children's Day at Chautauqua.
Yep.
Chautauqua. Now I didn't know Chautauqua was that out. I didn't know that was kind of a happening place.
Oh yeah. There are I think that Principia is the one that digitized them, but there are these like guidebooks to the season at Chautauqua from like the early 1900s, like 1905 through maybe the 30s.
That's fascinating.
There, it'll have the whole schedule. It'll have the people that are coming to do performances or lectures or whatever. And so photos. Wow. It's really cool.
That is really cool. Mm-hmm. And they played a ton of other things like the fish fry, you said, the Merchants Parade. What's the Merchants Parade?
I think it was just like the kind of like East End Improvement, like the people that had businesses downtown. And they just had a parade. I'm not entirely sure.
There used to be a lot of parades.
This town has always loved parades and loves music. That's actually something that I was thinking about with like all the support. Yeah. Like this has always been a musical, well, not always. From what I know about the late 1800s to the present, music has always been an extremely important thing to this town. I mean, everything from like the high school band to the band members and orchestra members who worked at like the movie houses when the like the Grand, had orchestra music when they had silent films, stuff like that. The White Hussars band, Hussars, I hate that one. That band. There've just been a ton of different musicians active in this town.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It leads me to what do you think our identity is as an area?
Oh, well, I mean, the things that come to mind are the most haunted small town in America thing. Mm-hmm. So like this combination of like history, because you have to have a deep and interesting history to have that even be a rumor, like you can't have a haunted town without having really, really interesting old buildings to support that.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think honestly is interesting? That I don't think our identity's ever really changed. It's evolved, I think, with the times. But I don't know. I just feel like it's always kind of been this blue collar kind of industrial mix with some deep river and some historical abolitionist history and things like that. That's what I was kind of getting at.
You're going deeper than me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it's changed too much.
I think that it has just like layered onto each other. This town is very complicated, and maybe that's the case with everywhere that's been around for a long time. But Pam, my coworker Pam and I were talking this morning about how the more research we do on things in Alton, the more confused we get a lot of the time.
Like, easily see that.
You think like, oh, I'll do research and then the puzzle pieces will fit together. And instead it's, you do more research and then you are even more confused.
That makes sense.
But part of that is that
because they didn't have Riverbender back then.
Honestly, part of it, it's a pleasure because the reason that we can find out all these new details and facts that confuse us is that we do have things like the Alton Telegraph going back to 1836. Like we have that consistent written history.
Right.
We have a lot of books. We've talked about several of them, history of Madison County, centennial history of Madison County. We've had a lot of writers in this area. So there's just a very rich written history. I think you're right. Like unions was a huge thing for a long time. Music, there has always, it seemed to be an interest in history. Everything from the focus on creating the Elijah Lovejoy Monument to...
And now the Lyman Trumbull statue. Thank you.
I don't know. It's hard for me to say.
Well, the reason I bring it up is someone said we don't have an identity, and I think that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. And I'm not saying, just because, I feel like having an identity always is a historical thing, too. You can't just create a new identity because we think of it or it's a new project. And that's why I asked you, because I heard that. I'm like, I just couldn't disagree with somebody more.
I think Alton is one of the most interesting places that I've lived because you can't always guess what happened in a certain time.
I think it goes Madison County wide too in that respect too, just because of all the different, like the Lewis and Clark trails and everything else. Like, I don't feel like it really changes too much from like an Alton to an Edwardsville on what an identity is. And maybe it might be corporate chains in an Edwardsville than an Alton, but and more higher taxes. But that's about, that's about it.
Other than that, No, but I think that. Well, we've talked about this before. Like Alton has this interesting push and pull. Like Lovejoy was murdered here, but then Alton citizens came together to buy the freedom of Amanda Kitchell Shavers 20 years later when she was brought here from slavery. And then that's
an interesting story. I've never heard that one.
Oh, you haven't? I'll find a way to talk about that.
Talk about that one. Wow.
And then we've got, the Lovejoy Monument being put up the same year that the schools are being segregated. And we've got like support for women's sports, but at the same time, not having it be the same as the opportunities for the men to play. We've got integration, but even like when Alton High was integrated, in 1873, but like, the Black students weren't allowed to do all the activities. Right. Like we have this really interesting push and pull that is probably the case everywhere. But Alton does a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. And I think it's flawed and it's interesting and it's trying. And so the way I see Alton's identity is like, you have to be dedicated to making it better all the time. And I think there are a lot of people that try to do that. And it's small enough, Alton Godfrey, and when I talk about Alton, I really mean Alton Godfrey. Yeah. It's small enough that one person can make a difference, but it's big enough that you can usually find a group of people to work on something. But I don't know. I don't think Alton doesn't have an identity. I think that we have a really, because of where we're located, right on the Mississippi River and so close to St. Louis, you have a lot of the benefits of a big city, but I don't think that we're like a bedroom community of St. Louis the way that some places are. Like we have our own.
Oh, I agree with that.
Like you don't have to leave. You don't have to leave this area for entertainment on the weekends, like that kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know what our identity is.
Yeah, I was just wanted to ask you that. I figured I might as well. I don't know.
Because I'm always thinking about it in a historical way, but I also feel like there's so many opportunities here.
Well, I feel like that's the way to look at it. I feel like you can't look at an identity without it being a historical thing.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know how to say, just because, Las Vegas is now adding sports teams doesn't mean their identity is they're a sports tourism destination. Their identity is always going to be an entertainment destination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what happens now. It's like we put a shiny new toy up and I'm like, oh, that's it. And it's like, no, it's a component of what we already have. So you have to have your historical, identity or your historical definition to form that identity. And then
well, and it informs the way that you build as a town, too, because like when Rufus Easton platted Alton, he had the riverfront as public property.
Right.
So we can look at what things were done in the past to see why things are the way they are today, or so that we can respect that and have that continue to be public property instead of, not.
Just interesting. Lacy, what are you writing about this week?
I am writing about a woman named Myrtle Stiles. Newer. All right. Well, then maybe you can answer some of my questions. This is one of the ones where the more I search, the less I find. She left her family home on her 42nd birthday, and I don't know when she came back. And I'm going to talk about when she left.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very interested about that. Anything else happen at the library?
Oh, we've got a program tonight. It's the one Gene King came last week.
Anna came on,
and Ann Morrissey Davidson. It's called Family Album, and they're going to talk about these films that they made, and it's at 6 at the library. If you're interested, you can call and make a reservation. We've got a little bit of room left. I think we have 29 people on the list, but all set up for that.
Good crowd.
So yeah, it'll be good.
Really cool. Lacy, it's always a pleasure.
Yes.
Never a chore.
Never a chore.
You ever see that Veep episode? You ever watch Veep?
Oh yeah, I love Veep.
Love Veep. It's whenever the reporter leaves his recording device on his phone, and they all start talking crap on him the moment he leaves. Then his phone locks.
Right.
You know what I think's funny? I feel like Veep is kind of just what our political system morphed into. Like, I honestly truly believe on both sides. Like, it's not even like if people go, oh, they say that. No, I truly believe that everything is just morphed into Veep.
I think it would be more stressful to watch Veep now than it was when I watched it originally.
There's a lot of tie-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't the West Wing no more, West Wing's a fantasy world. We'll take a quick break. Daily Show comes back to you on a Wednesday morning. We're going to talk to Chris Logan and the Riverbend CEO program. I'm on their board of directors, and we're going to talk about their upcoming pickleball tournament, and I need you to get your spots filled up and help us help them raise some money.